I haven't done the show Sweeney Todd before. I've seen it several times. It's one of my favorite musicals. I think I did see it originally in the 80s in England at the Drury Lane Theatre Royal, which was a wonderful production. I remember being incredibly impressed by it and very moved. I have seen, I saw New York City Opera do a version of it, not my favorite. I also saw the revival with Patti LuPone and Michael Cerveris, and I thought that was actually quite good, very interesting. When we start with a show in general, we know what the season is, usually in the spring in the year previous. We start our seasons in September. So I know what's coming up, and sometimes I know the show, sometimes I don't. Certainly you start with the script even if you know the show. Read, everything you can and try to start just kind of getting some thoughts about it. As we get nearer, actually not that near, sometimes quite a ways in advance, we'll have a concept meeting where all of us get together, the set designer, the sound person, certainly the director of the show, tech director, assistant tech director. We just all kind of sit around and say, okay, what are we thinking? We take some tips, obviously, from the director of the show, because usually they do have a vision. In this particular instance, it was great, because Leslie and I, when I first was interviewing for this position, really bonded about a certain show called Shock-Headed Peter, which is a fantastic, wonderful little strange show from England, little group that uses a trio called the Tiger Lilies to do the music. And because we loved that so much, and we both really like Sweeney Todd, we decided that that would be the way to go for the look of the show. I think one of my really favorite parts is when the actors try on their costumes for the first time, because they're usually pretty excited about it. And so am I. They've been hanging on a rack. They're very abstract to that point. You're hoping they're going to work. You think they might. Some you're not so sure of. The actors put the costume on and they start to embody the characters. And when that happens, that is one of the first real magical moments. I have to say that also one of my really favorite parts about working in community theater is the volunteer. All of our volunteers that work in all the aspects, whether they're ushers or they work, painting sets, or they work at coat check, or any number of wonderful things. I do love my costume volunteers. They do a whole lot of different things. They are wonderfully committed and never seem to worry if I need to ask them to do something at the last minute. I'm constantly having somebody saying, okay, that's done, what else? We have everyone from people who can sew to people who are better with a glue gun, or who also, I've had some people actually design particular items for a show, which is really great. Nice opportunity for someone else to do it and to get someone else in to do some things. Also, when the show is finished, again, laundry, dry cleaning, returning. Some of it's not so glamorous. Some of it is really fun. Most of it's really fun. Laundry is okay. I don't think we're going to be using particularly washable blood because it looks too fake. So I think one of the things that those wonderful volunteers will be doing will be making pretty much an assembly line of false shirts. One of my top 2 favorite songs in musical theater is Joanna, that young Anthony sings. Beautiful, lovely song. And I'm very excited because we have a wonderful singer to do that song. I think that, and also the Epiphany with Try a Little Priest.